everybody. We're here with David Roth and his friend Tom Batter. And my name is Peter Amadon in Brattleboro, Vermont. We have a whole crew of tech people, including Joe, Ariana, Aaron, and Candace. Yay for them. And before I go over to David Roth and his friend Tom Batter, I just want to say hello, Aaron. It's good to see you. Hello, Ariana. Hello, David and Tom. In where? Orcas Island. Oh, I'm going to stop for a second and just say this is day number, and repeat after me, please. My turn. 1,847. What did I say? 1,847. Okay, moving along. Candace, hello. Great to see you. Pauline from Newcastle in the UK. Susan from Cincinnati. Hi, Kathy from Colorado. And Neil from Boston. Hello, Sharon, and hello to Nan in Michigan. Gary, hello, Gary. Good to see you. And hello to Athena. Hello, Anne in Nashville, and Al in Massachusetts. Hello to Clive and Ruth, and hello both of you in Birmingham, England. Caroline in DC, and hello to Cricket. Barbara, it's so good to see you, and Jamie in Victoria, British Columbia. Hello to Sheila and with her Gibson, and hello to there you are. Kim in Vancouver Island, British Columbia, not so far from Orcas Island, I'm guessing. And hello to Tammy and Sarah, who's down in Texas, and we got Baba James in Maryland. As usual, people are coming from all over the place. So there's Deli from Maryland and Nancy from Washington. And Barbara, and we get Bob in Albany, and hello to Kat in my own Vermont, Sarah all the way over in California, Linda, and hello to Jenny in Suffolk, the UK of England, and Becky in British Columbia, a lot of West Coast people today, Elizabeth in California, hello Storm in Massachusetts, LMG in Connecticut, hey Tom, good to see you, and we have Julia and then we have Hoda in Canada. And if I didn't get you, I apologize, but just welcome to the family. I want to say hello also to everybody who's here on YouTube. Our guest today is David Roth with his friend Tom Batter in Orcas Island, which is one of the most beautiful places on the planet. David is he's a songwriter's songwriter. He's a great songwriter, but he also is a great teacher. He spends a lot of his time teaching other people how to write songs and inspiring people how to just get into how to be creative and create new songs. So I'm just going to go ahead and turn it over to you, David and Tom, and what do you got for us today over there in beautiful Orcas Island?
It's great to be with you all as ever. And I want to just give a shout out to Linda from Orcas, who is usually on the Daily Antidote of Song, but she's got a Zoom meeting right now, and it's tearing her apart that she can't be with us. But she came to the concert last night, Linda on Orcas. That's the woman that you've seen many times on the Daily Antidote of Song. So today I have a new song. The song was written in about 2 hours over 2 days with 24th graders on Cape Cod in Massachusetts, where I live. I used to live in Seattle, which is why I'm out here on a 13 appearance tour over the next 12 or so days. And last night was night number 2, and tonight I'll be down in Seattle. But this song was invited by the president of the Orleans Library, the Snow Library, to do a storytelling hour last summer. And she had a little grant money left over and said, I don't want to give this money back, and if I don't use it, I'm going to have... we never want that to happen. So I said, how about songwriting in the schools? And we hooked up with Orleans Elementary, and we went in for 50 minutes on a Thursday and 50 minutes on Friday, and we put this song together. It's called Time to Shine. Now, we talked about what's going on in the world, and we don't want to gloss over that at all, but we basically made a list of things we like to that we believe in, and taking suggestions from the kids and things that maybe weren't so working so well in the world these days. So we can get into all that, but let's sing the song first. And here's how the chorus goes. It's it's very easy. It goes, oh, I'll also say one more thing. The kids were lobbying heavily to use the word unicorn in this song, but I capitulated and we compromised on the word rainbows. Okay, so no unicorns, but rainbows. Here's the chorus, goes like this. Time to shine, time to shine, time to shine, time to shine. Oh, I believe in being kind, and I believe it's time to shine. Try it with me. Time to shine, time to shine, time to shine, time to shine. I believe in being kind, and I believe it's time to shine. All right, I'm going to take off into the song. Oh, I believe in peace, and I believe in being kind to make this world a better place. Oh, I believe it's time to shine. Verse. And I believe in trust. I believe there's always a way. I promise never to give up. I'll look for rainbows every day. Here we go. Time to shine, time to shine, time to shine, time to shine. I believe in being kind. I believe in being kind, and I believe it's time to shine. I don't believe in war. I don't believe in taking sides. I wish there wasn't any hunger, and I believe it's time to rise and time to shine, time to shine, time to shine, time to shine. I believe in being kind. I believe in being kind, and I believe it's time to shine. Treat others how you want to be treated, hoping we can find the key to honesty, equality, to freedom and love. These are things I know that I would like to see, 'cause I believe in peace, and I believe in being kind to make this world a better place. Oh, I believe it's time to shine. Here we go. Time to shine, time to shine, time to shine, time to shine. I believe in being kind, and I believe it's time to shine. You sing the chorus. I believe in being kind, and I believe it's time to shine. I believe it's time to shine. Oh, I believe it's time to shine. Last time. I believe it's time to shine.
Wow, that's fantastic. Thank you very much, David. And Tom. I would love to have been a fly in the wall when you're writing that song with those fourth graders. I'm kind of so. Do you remember where the actual the time to shine, where the word shine, how that did that come out of the did that pop out of the kids something, or do you remember how that happened?
It popped out of one of the students' mouths, and when that happened, I go, "Oh, there it is, time to shine."
Yeah,
And
yeah,
one technique that we use in writing songs, sometimes in a chorus, is to repetition.
yes,
Uh,
right,
and
right.
in this particular song, there's a lot of that in lines 1, 2, and 4 of the chorus, and then the third line is different. And what better line to repeat than "I believe in being kind"? So that's how the chorus developed. And when I said, "Oh, that sounds like a," when this student said this, that sounds like a great thing to put in the chorus. And they go, yeah, yeah, yeah. And it might even be the title of the song, you know. So, and then there's the little rise and shine play on words in there and all kinds of good stuff. So they were very excited. Apparently, the whole school is learning it. They're going to be singing it at school assemblies going forward.
Wow.
I
Uh,
hope I'll be home for one of those. Um, and there were a few adults on the periphery of the room that day who thought they would watch, but you know, if you're ever in a songwriting room with me, everybody's involved. So
yeah.
we,
Right.
some of the grown-ups, you know, we were asking them about things they'd like to see and things that maybe they didn't want to see as much of. So it
And
was
then they do you transfer do you try stuff out musically in front of the kids, or do you take it home and work it out, in between?
in front of the kids, you know.
You do,
Uh,
yeah. Just try this, try that, yeah.
Try this, try that. How does that sound? How does this sound? You know,
Hmm.
start simply and go like that. So, no one seemed to give me too much blowback for the lack of unicorns in this song. But it
There
was
is,
really,
yeah. What
it
is
was a
it
fun.
about unicorns and children? There's definitely a fixation there. Yeah.
No, maybe you know this, but it's the official animal of some country, like Scotland or Netherlands or something like that. It is the unicorn, and you
Yeah.
got to love a country like that.
Yes. Yeah. So tell us what else you're thinking about these days and what you're up to. I know you're in the middle of a tour and you're going to need, and we were talking earlier, you're going to leave for Scotland soon and you got some songwriting workshops coming up. What are you thinking about these days in terms of your just,
Inhabiting the present moment, you know, because there's a lot of stuff to look forward to, but just being wherever I am as much as possible
mhm.
and, you know, doing too much future chewing.
Yeah.
Uh, my wife and I study with a teacher named Byron Katie, and she says the only way to suffer is to think about the past or the future, but
Wow.
only 100% of the time. And so that's, she said that too. That's my invitation
Wait,
to,
wait. No, you said wait. I didn't quite get the end of that. The only way to suffer is to think about the past or the future. What is the 100% of it? How's that come in?
she adds, but only 100% of the time.
Uh-huh.
In other words, always.
Yeah.
And so that's my invitation to inhabit the present moment as much as possible.
Right. Right.
And
Right.
music makes that very possible for me. We were talking before we went on the air about, you know, I'm not a kid anymore, but I'm still touring like a madman, doing, you know, more shows than there are days on some of my tours. And people ask me all the time, how do you have the energy to do this? And I said two things. Music uh, energizes me, does not deplete me. And I also say that I get to be everywhere I go without exception with the nicest people in the world who
Yeah.
gather under anyone's roof or in anyone's community with the highest of intentions and hope that we can remind ourselves of our membership in the human family and not be picking sides or taking stands or creating division. You know, it's just, you know, I brought a quote uh, into the daily today that I'd like to read and see if this doesn't sound like it was just written yesterday. These are not my words, okay, if I may. Starting here. One of the great liabilities of history is that all too many people fail to remain awake through great periods of social change. Every society has its protectors of status quo and its fraternities of the indifferent, who are notorious for sleeping through revolutions. Today, our very survival depends on our ability to stay awake, to adjust to new ideas, to remain vigilant, and to face the challenge of change. Incredibly timely words.
That's yeah, it's that's always true, and now that's become you know what I always feel like that we are really kind of forced to think about a lot of things now that we wouldn't normally necessarily be thinking about, and that is to me one of the it's a silver lining of a really really difficult situation, and in situations like this where the arts, poetry, music they become much more important. I think they rise in their influence on people. What do you think, David? Is that
Well, let me first say that those were the words of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.,
Oh my
written
gosh,
in the
amazing.
early
He wrote those
1960s.
words?
Yes, he did.
Wow, that is really interesting. That's
And if you think
wow.
back to the early 1960s, 40, that's 60 plus years ago that he
Yeah,
wrote these words about fraternities of the indifferent,
yeah, yeah,
and protectors of the status quo, and
yeah.
to remain vigilant and face the challenge of change.
Wow.
Words by Dr. King, just like we've talked about many times, Pete Seeger writing If I Had a Hammer in 1949. You know,
Exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We sang that. We sang that yesterday in a nursing home, and I thought, "Whoa, what an amazing song!" And all of a sudden, we really need it again. That's
Well, I
amazing.
want to give a shout out. Last night, my opening act, or I should say, I closed for them, was one of the local, what's the name of it? The ukulele,
Kanakapila.
Kanika, Kanikapila?
Pila, yeah.
Yeah, it's a Hawaiian word.
Means I think it means love music or
Yeah, love and
play
music.
music for fun. I
Play
think.
music for fun. So about a dozen ukulele players opened the show with three songs, and I got to play for the first time ever with no rehearsal, the ukulele electric bass. I got to play
Wow.
along with 8 days a week. What was another one?
Put a little love in your
Put a little love in your
heart.
heart, and
If I had a hammer.
if I had a hammer.
Oh yeah, fantastic. That's
So
really
it was
great.
the moment. Then I put down the mighty electric ukulele bass and brought up my acoustic guitar, and off we went. But playing music makes me feel sane. I don't know about anybody else. Singing, seeing one another. Uh,
Well, it keeps it. I think
it's
it's physically. If I don't, I found out early in my life that if I'm not doing something creative, I get physically sick. That's something I discovered. And that was a really wonderful
wow.
discovery. And I think that's true for everybody in a way, whether and it doesn't have to be music, that's, just living your life creatively, whatever
Mhm.
it is. But yeah.
Yeah, well, I've got a couple of creative things coming up. Taking this tour to Scotland the last 2 weeks of May to the Orkney Islands and the northernmost parts of Scotland and Glasgow
Wow.
and places like that. Going to be a
Wonderful.
lot of fun. Isle of Skye. But then in first week of July, I'm going to be in Maryland at Common Ground on the Hill teaching songwriting and
Yeah.
conducting a choir for the week. So I'm going to be the choir director, and it's kind of an on-audition choir. We meet once a day, and we'll do something at the end of the week. But I've been very fascinated by a musician I want you all to know about. If you don't know about him already, his name is Jacob Collier. He's a 30-year-old young man who, just write that name down, Collier's with a C, and Google two things, Jacob Collier with Chris Martin of Coldplay. You'll see them do a song in front of tens of thousands of people. And then he does a thing with a philharmonic orchestra. It might be London, and an audience where he's creating an arrangement on the spot without sheet music with this orchestra and having the audience be the chorus. It's astounding. And he's 30 years old now, and he made his name by 11 years ago at 19, hitting send on his computer after he had made an arrangement of Don't You Worry About a Thing by Stevie Wonder.
Hmm.
And he did six parts of harmony, and he played upright bass, keyboards, drums, percussion, things with strings on them, all expertly. And a few weeks later, he was sitting in Quincy Jones' office because
Yeah.
Quincy Jones heard about him, and now he's exploded. We came upon him quite by accident watching a few weeks ago, watching some YouTube musicians, and I am transfixed by the Mozart of the modern era. This guy is a walk-in, and without ego, which is something I really love in a musician. He's really someone worth watching, and he has informed my choral directing, when I work with groups of people for very short periods of time, and how we can sing together and not be as concerned with what it sounds like as how it feels to sing. That's more important to me, how it feels to the singer to sing than being in perfect relationship with the harmonies or the melody or the pitch itself. Jacob is really good at exploring the notes between the notes, and he's
Yeah.
really quite amazing.
He's extraordinary. He's like a child. He's like a child in a toy shop, and all the toys are just these different musical concepts or
Yes,
something.
and he's
He's very
whirling around.
childlike. He's so childlike.
So you
and
know
he's
who I'm
obviously
talking
an
about.
absolute genius. He's a genius musically, but and
Yeah.
there are other geniuses that are musical, but he's got this other whole create. His body just exudes creativity, and it's what do you call it? It's infectious. Infectious. Yeah.
Well, I am inspired knowing that there are young people like this in the
Yeah.
world where, we've made a mess of things, in the
Yeah.
upper echelons, and
Yeah.
that there are people who are tuned in without distraction to the importance of beauty.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. So I think we want to sing some more.
Yes,
Can we sing some more?
absolutely. And the
Let me
last
just first
invitation
think
I'll
about all
make,
these. Go ahead.
if you can't come to Common Ground down the hill, July 5 through 12, it's a broad spectrum of folk arts of any kind. And if you want to explore songwriting more specifically, we have the 27th annual Summer Songs in Rockland County, New York, July 20 through 27. I've got 12 instructors, including Pat Wichter, myself, Cozy Sheridan, Sloan Wainwright, and just very generous, humble, fun people to hang around with. All levels, even if you've never written a song before, we're going to dive in and have our 27th annual gathering. I can hardly
Wow,
believe what I said.
I'm going to give you some copy now. Come join Dr. David Roth in his healing songwriting workshops. You'll come up with a song, and you'll also come up with a much healthier body and spirit. You can use that.
Okay, I'll use that in limited amounts. And lastly, if I still have a few, just a handful of openings for my musical tour of Scotland, October 9
Okay.
through 19,
Yeah.
and of Ireland, October 24 through November 2nd. We see these beautiful countries. We interact with all the traditional musicians in both countries, their separate tours, and we are with people who are proud of where they're from, are very generous and welcoming, and we do a lot of music all along the way. And it's, for fans, friends, you can play a song in an Irish pub, I'll accompany you, all that kind of stuff. So
Fantastic.
it's October, so hop on board. The express train is rolling and ready for action.
Let's sing.
All right. Here goes something. What do you believe in? I believe in peace. I believe in being kind to make this world a better place. I believe it's time to shine, and I believe in trust. I believe there's always a way. I promise never to give up. I'll look for rainbows every day. It's time to shine, time to shine, time to shine, time to shine. I believe in being kind, and I believe it's time to shine. I don't believe in war. I don't believe in taking sides. I wish there wasn't any hunger. Oh, I believe it's time to rise and time to shine, time to shine, time to shine, time to shine. I believe in being kind, and I believe it's time to shine. Treat others how you want to be treated, hoping we can find the key to honesty, equality, to freedom and love. These are things I know that I would like to see. 'Cause I believe in peace, and I believe in being kind to make this world a better place. Oh, I believe it's time to shine, time to shine, time to shine, time to shine, time to shine. Oh, I believe in being kind, and I believe it's time to shine. Chorus! Time to shine. time to shine, time to shine, time to shine. Oh, I believe in being kind, and I believe it's time to shine. I believe in being kind, and I believe it's time to shine. I believe it's time to shine. You do this one. Everybody. Oh, I believe it's time to shine.
Thank you. Thank you, David Roth. Thank you, Tom Batter, for your
My
vocal
pleasure.
support. And but we're gonna and before we go, I want to let's see what we've been doing and what we're gonna do. We want to take a peek at the list here. Look at that. Last Monday was Linda Dosher. Tuesday was Elise Witt, and then Wednesday was Samara Jade. Thursday, Monday, yeah, Thursday, a new artist, David Lamotte. And you should go check that one out. You know, all of these are on archive, so you can look at every single one of these after the fact. And David Lamotte is a really interesting and to the Daily Antidote family a new face. Shruti Vishwanath was yesterday, and they had a really wonderful session with her. So check that out. Of course, today is the songwriter David Roth, and tomorrow is another new face. So come and welcome to the family tomorrow, Shaniqua Trotman. So that's who we have now, and let's give David one big thank you for today and for all that you're doing. And I know you've been a really quite a huge supporter of the Daily Antidote of Song for many years, and we thank you for that. And I'm thinking, I think I'm going to go ahead and say goodbye to folks. Yeah. So thank you, David and Tom. Thank you, Aaron, for your work. Goodbye. Bye, Joe. The Earth Mother of the Daily Antidote of Song. Thank you, Ariana, for helping us out, and Candace, who's been working with the Daily Antidote of Song for quite a while. And goodbye to Pauline in Newcastle. Goodbye, Sharon and Michael. Goodbye, Tammy in Orcas Island, a local. And to today's session. Goodbye, Susan in Cincinnati and Kathy in Colorado. Goodbye, Kathleen in Albuquerque. Goodbye, David and Elsie in Oakland, and Nan in Michigan, Martha in Oregon. Goodbye, the ever faithful Baba Jim in Maryland. Goodbye, Becky in British Columbia. And it's always good to see you, Athena in Brooklyn. Goodbye to Neil in Boston, Clive and Ruth in England, Birmingham, England. Goodbye to Carolyn in DC, Bob in Albany, Cricket in Maryland. Goodbye to Barbara Dean and Arlene Baxter in Berkeley, California. And there we go. And goodbye to Kevin in New Hampshire, and goodbye to Jamie in Victoria, British Columbia, Sheila and Kim in Vancouver Island, British Columbia. Goodbye to Sarah in Texas, Hoda in British Columbia, Canada. Goodbye to Storm in Massachusetts, Delhi, and Liana, who hopped on a little after the beginning in Vermont. And goodbye to Gary in Massachusetts, Anne in Nashville, William in the United Kingdom. Goodbye, both of you. And goodbye to Nancy, and goodbye to Kat in Vermont, Sarah in California, Linda. Goodbye to Jenny in Suffolk, UK, Elizabeth in California. Goodbye to LMG in Connecticut. And goodbye to Rosalie in Michigan, Curly Tops in Vermont. How you doing there? And goodbye to Moon in Virginia. And goodbye to Amanda and Alex in Miles, California. Everybody say goodbye to all of the YouTube folks. Thank you for joining us. And make sure you come back and come back tomorrow to see. Wait, I wrote it down here. Oh, there it is. Yeah, Shaniqua Trotman tomorrow. Make sure you catch her. Catch her. And anybody who wants to, I know there's a number of new faces we noticed today. So anybody who wants to hang out after we say goodbye, I'm probably going to go get my lunch. But if anybody wants to hang out and talk with Joe and the rest of the gang, please feel free and find out more about this extraordinary journey that we've been on for 1,847 days, a miracle of miracles, and we just keep trucking along. So that's it. Thanks a lot. And one more big thanks to David and Tom and David. Good luck with all of your work. Thank you very much for it. And thank you for this great song, and to all of those fourth graders who you inspired and are all inspiring us in just bringing out creativity in other people. I think what a gift that is. So goodbye, everybody. So long, folks.